number 3, evaluating the overall process that you have followed as part of that facilitation. Okay. If we have a look at the evidence requirements quickly, 3.1 talks about planning, and it says, for specific training intervention, describe and provide evidence of the following. And your assignment specifically says preparation of resources. Sure. On page 80 or 81? 80. Okay. Preparation of resources, which is what, how, when, who. Guys, that talks to things like your project plan, your checklist, your meeting requests, your venue bookings, your learner confirmations. Okay? Training arrangements. Bullet number 3 is a site audit to ensure that the learning site meets the requirements for your place of learning. I'm sure that you have checklists, venue training checklists that you can use. And then 3.2 is around creating a learning plan to facilitate the learning process. And that very much is what you guys have said. You've all said it. Facilitate a plan. I think you've got it on that side as well. Facilitation plan. Your day planner, your flow for the day. Remember I said to you, I'm not looking for your facilitator guide and your learner guide. I really have no desire to see it unless there's a very specific reason that you want me to see it. If you've made notes or used it for something specific. Okay. Your facilitation session is an observation, as you know. Just in terms of the guidelines. 20 to 25 minutes of facilitated session. Hanifa, minus the expectations and the introductions. To a learning group that was identified in your training plan. Okay. It says do not cover more than one specific outcome or 4 assessment criteria. I think it's a guideline. At the end of the day, you're facilitating. I'm not going to go and check how many learning outcomes you covered in that process. Okay, session should be for a maximum of 25 minutes. There should be at least 4 people in the group. Just from a facilitation process perspective, it actually stipulated in the unit standard, ironically.
You want to see these people?
Well, you know what? It's interesting because I had somebody the other day give me a recording, but it was only of his voice. And I've thrown it out because it doesn't help me to see body language, facial engagement with the group. Okay, so it does cause a bit of anxiety for the learners, but yeah, I want to see them.
But your register should prove how many people was in your session.
Yes, 100%. Joe, you don't have to go and scan all 25 for me, that's fine. What I'm looking for though is your engagement with them. So I mean, if I see the backs of heads, that's fine. I just want to know that there's people in the room.
Flash dummies. Flash dummies.
The heads must move, you know.
I want to see something. Not like the one I got. I'm thinking, okay, so where are your learners? I'm pretty sure that he was standing in the front of a classroom on his own, but anyway. Okay, then majority of the session should be around facilitation. It says they limit the formative assessments. Okay, it doesn't help me to see anything if you can do assessments. Learners should complete feedback forms. We've got that. The facilitation will need to be recorded either through webcam or camcorder. So I need to be able to see you all. And then planning or evaluation does not need to be recorded, but the actual training session must be. So I'm not interested in your recording, Shane, of you sitting planning and preparing. Okay, and I'm not interested necessarily in seeing your evaluation. Okay, well, in terms of recording. You could record your meeting, Hanifa, if you wanted to, instead of the minutes. That's an option. Okay, no, okay. Okay, comfortable? Any questions around the facilitation component? Okay. The last one, and we have gone and we've linked it back to our unit standards, which I think is important. Evaluation, guys, don't underestimate it. It's not just about getting a couple of evaluation sheets, chucking it together, and telling you that you've done it. There's an element of planning it, there's an element of actually going and gathering data and evidence of evaluation, and there's evidence requirements for you to actually be able to summarize and analyze that data. So go and have a look at the results from the learners and actually say, this is what the learners liked, this is what they didn't like. Potentially these are some of the things that need to change or be reworked. Okay. So it talks around explaining the methodology you used in your training, your facilitation approach, any problems that you encountered, appropriateness of the training to the learner profile, appropriateness of the training to the workplace, and then evaluation instruments. Okay, so a lot of that evaluation is your own personal stuff. But remember I said 3 components. Learner evaluation from the learners. I'm looking for some sort of summary of that learner evaluation because I need to be able to know that you can put it into a report and that you're able to analyze it. I'm looking for your personal evaluation, and then I'm looking for the typical return on investment one, the stakeholder one, that's what you're looking for. Okay? And the reason I ask for that one is it because it supports you in the whole transfer of learning into the workplace, application component. Okay. Cool. So that's evaluation. Questions, comments, concerns?
Okay, then stakeholder evaluation, that would be the actual, so say for example, I had the HR manager and the whoever from this training committee, whatever. So the actual forms that they filled out, each one, or a summary of the forms that they filled out. What is the
It could be stats as well.
Yeah, it could be a mixture of things. Look for your environment. I'm saying if you want to give them forms that they can physically complete, that's fine. If you want to have a meeting, which is just a debate and a discussion, that's fine. In Andrew's case, he said stats. So he can go and see change from one component, training, to what are the results of that he can improve return on investment. So yeah, it can maneuver, it's totally up to you. I'm happy with documents, I'm happy with stats, and I'm happy with the minutes of a meeting where it's been discussed as well. Either one is more than fine. Okay. Yeah, and
But we're going to get to the observation DVD now, right?
yes, what would you like to know about observation?
So there's going to be two recordings actually, your observation and your facilitation.
Yes,
Can we do it on one DVD?
absolutely, please do. Yes. Guys, your DVD in this case, yeah, you're quite correct. Unfortunately for this one, you have to look pretty twice in 1 month. Keith?
Oh no.
Twice in 1 month.
Your
Okay. One is for your facilitation session, which is your 25 to 35 minute component. And the second one is your observation. Remember the observation talking through the process. So your planning, your actual facilitation, and then your evaluation component. Okay. But please put it on one DVD. Absolutely. Shem, if I could give you back this one, you could put it on there as well. Yeah. Okay. Try and put them all on as much as possible. Happy with that. Any other questions around the observation? Did you find the observation, the last one, worthwhile in your ELO 2 at 4 o'clock this morning?
That was hours last night, 12 hours, whatever.
6 o'clock.
Okay. I just found it a bit having to talk to the camera. I thought I put a picture there of you to make it easier to you. I must apologize. I was so tired. I was so tired. My last words were actually, I enjoyed it very much, but I think I need to rest.
That's fine. It gives you some entertainment. Andrew, how did you find yours?
Very interesting.
Interesting. Worthwhile to
I think
talk
it has
through.
value, yeah. But also just putting into place your way of thinking and linking it. Because sometimes you do find it difficult. You think, do I have enough evidence in here?
Yeah.
And what the purpose of the DVDs makes sense to bridge those gaps.
Lovely. Yeah, I honestly see it as a bridging gaps, as a making links on things that you can't necessarily show on paper, but you can make the links in the talking me through it, which is awesome. And I love listening to them. I generally put them on play, and as I'm assessing the portfolio, so I listen to it. So I end up sometimes listening to it 3 or 4 times, unless it's 2 hours long like my last one. I end up listening to it a couple of times, because then the more I listen to it, the more I can also see what you guys have done. So it does add a lot of value. Cool. Okay. Anything else on ELO 3?
I was going to ask, what's the deadline now?
Is it 24th March?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. We're seeing each other again on the 17th. You personally won't be seeing me that day. You'll be seeing my lovely colleague, Sharon Benting. So, 24th of March? No, we see each other on the 17th of March.
What's happening on that day?
It is assessor refresher. And then on the 24th, we do moderator. None of you are moderators, eh? Moderator. No, yes. Okay, good. So 17th is going to be assessor refresher. 24th is moderator. Okay, so remember we take the 2 Saturdays, and those 2 pieces of evidence from the 2 Saturdays go to your moderator portfolio. So once you walk out of here, assessor and moderator are both done, because you're all assessors and you'll all be moderators by the time you leave on the 24th. This portfolio though is due for the 24th. Okay, so I don't want to see anything on the 17th, 24th.